The 20th century witnessed a medical procedure as groundbreaking as it was controversial: the lobotomy. This surgical intervention aimed to alleviate severe mental illnesses by severing connections in the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for personality and higher cognitive functions. While seemingly a radical concept today, lobotomies were initially hailed as a beacon of hope for patients suffering from debilitating mental disorders for which no other effective treatments existed. The origins of lobotomy can be traced back to the 1930s, with Portuguese neurologist Anton Egas Moniz at the forefront. Intrigued by the effects of severing connections in the brains of primates, Moniz theorized that a similar procedure could alleviate symptoms in humans experiencing severe mental distress. In 1935, he conducted the first human lobotomy targeting the prefrontal cortex. Early results seemed promising, with some patients exhibiting reduced agitation and aggression. However, these initial observations were often anecdotal and lacked rigorous scientific evaluation. The procedure itself was rudimentary, involving drilling holes into the skull and severing nerve fibers with a surgical instrument. Despite the lack of comprehensive understanding of the brain and the potential for irreversible damage, Moniz's work garnered significant attention within the medical community. In 1949, Moniz received the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine for his discovery of the therapeutic value of leucotomy in certain psychoses. This prestigious award solidified the lobotomy's place in medical history, further fueling its adoption despite the growing concerns surrounding its effectiveness and ethical implications. The Nobel Prize bestowed upon Moniz would later become a point of contention, highlighting the complexities of medical progress and the unforeseen consequences of groundbreaking procedures. News of Moniz's work traveled across the Atlantic, capturing the attention of American neurologist Walter Freeman. Intrigued by the potential of lobotomies to address the growing population of patients in overcrowded mental institutions, Freeman sought to refine and popularize the procedure in the United States. He developed a quicker, less invasive technique known as the transorbital lobotomy, which involved accessing the brain through the eye socket instead of drilling into the skull. Freeman's method, while seemingly more efficient, carried significant risks. The procedure lacked precision, and the potential for brain damage was high. Undeterred, Freeman embarked on a tireless campaign to promote lobotomy, traveling across the country in his van, which he dubbed the Lobotomobile, performing thousands of procedures in mental institutions and even private practices. The allure of a quick fix for complex mental illnesses, coupled with Freeman's relentless advocacy, led to the widespread adoption of lobotomies in the 1940s and early 1950s. Often, the procedure was performed with minimal consent from patients or their families, who were often desperate for any solution to alleviate their loved one's suffering. Lobotomy became a common treatment for a wide range of conditions, from schizophrenia and depression to anxiety, and even rebellious behavior in teenagers. During this period, the lack of effective alternatives, coupled with societal pressures to address mental illness, contributed to the acceptance of lobotomy as a viable treatment option. The medical community, eager for solutions and influenced by prominent figures like Freeman, often overlooked the ethical implications and long-term consequences of such an irreversible procedure. The widespread use of lobotomies during this era reflects a complex interplay of scientific ambition, societal pressures, and a limited understanding of the brain and mental illness. As lobotomies gained popularity, so did the accounts of their devastating side effects. Patients often experienced significant personality changes, emotional blunting, and cognitive impairment. One of the most well-known cases that exposed the dark side of lobotomies is that of Rosemary Kennedy, sister of future President John F. Kennedy. Rosemary, a bright and vivacious young woman, underwent a lobotomy at the age of 23 to address mood swings and behavioral issues. Tragically, the procedure left her permanently incapacitated, with severe impairments to her speech, mobility, and cognitive abilities. Rosemary's story, though often overshadowed by her family's political legacy, serves as a stark reminder of the devastating and irreversible consequences of lobotomies. As more cases like Rosemary's came to light, the medical community began to question the ethics and efficacy of lobotomies. The initial enthusiasm surrounding the procedure waned as the severity of its side effects became increasingly apparent. Moreover, the emergence of new psychotropic medications in the 1950s provided alternative treatments for mental illnesses, further reducing the perceived need for such a drastic intervention. The decline of lobotomy was as swift as its rise. The development of more effective and less invasive treatments, coupled with growing ethical concerns and public outcry against the procedure, led to its rapid decline in the mid-20th century. By the 1960s, lobotomies were largely abandoned in most parts of the world, relegated to a dark chapter in the history of medicine. The history of lobotomy stands as a cautionary tale in the annals of medicine, a stark reminder of the importance of ethical considerations, rigorous scientific evaluation, and a comprehensive understanding of the human brain. While initially hailed as a breakthrough in the treatment of mental illness, lobotomy's legacy is marred by its devastating consequences and the countless lives forever altered by its application. The story of lobotomy highlights the dangers of embracing medical interventions without a thorough understanding of their long-term effects. It underscores the importance of informed consent, patient autonomy, and the need for ongoing evaluation and refinement of medical practices. The lessons learned from this dark chapter in medical history continue to shape ethical guidelines and inform medical decision-making today. The legacy of lobotomy serves as a stark reminder that medical progress must be tempered with caution, ethical considerations, and a deep respect for the sanctity of the human mind. While the era of lobotomy may be behind us, its story continues to hold valuable lessons for the medical community and society at large, urging us to proceed with caution and foresight as we navigate the complexities of medical advancements in the 21st century.